Jenny G. I am in Gatlinburg, Tennessee at the Great Smoky Mountain National Park. I'm going to be doing a body weight workout today, so all you need is a mat. Let's get ready to sculpt and tone those muscles. Let's go ahead and jump right into our first exercise, a downward dog to an upward facing dog. Go ahead and come down onto your mat on your hands and feet into plank position. And then you're going to be piking those hips up into down dog. Lower your nose down towards the mat. Scoop the body up into upward dog. Push back into down dog. Scoop and lift up into up dog. Push back, head comes down, looking between those legs, and then as you come forward, upper body reaches towards the sky. Down dog to up dog. Let your body flow through this movement, one pose to the next. Try to keep those knees from bending and don't lock those elbows. Bend the elbows as you come forward and straighten them out as you look up towards the sky. Here we go, last 3, 2, and last one. Pike those hips up, scoop and look forward. Go ahead and lower those knees down to the mat. You can come all the way back up to standing. For our next exercise, we have curtsy lunges with a side leg lift. Beginning in a wide stance, you're going to be crossing one foot back behind the other, lowering into a reverse lunge. As you come up, raise that same leg straight out to the side. You can move fluidly from the lunge to the side leg lift or tap that foot down in between. You can tap the mat, raise, tap, lunge behind, or move fluidly right from that lunge into the side leg lift. Whatever works best for you and your level of balance. Give me 3 more. Last 2. And here's our last one, lunge behind, curtsy lunge. Extend that leg out to the side and lower down. All right, let's bring this to the other side now. Stepping back into that curtsy lunge on the other leg and then lifting that leg out to the side. Step back behind, lunge, tap down if you need to here, and then raise that leg to the side. This move is definitely challenging your balance. Just 2 more here. And last one. Great job. Go ahead and step those feet in. We're going to be bringing it back down to the mat for some low plank reach outs. Come down into tabletop and lower onto your forearms. Now you can keep your knees on the mat or pop up onto your feet. From here you are reaching one arm out in front of you, tapping the floor. Alternating sides, reach and tap, reach and tap. For added stability here, you can widen the stance of your feet and try to keep your hips from swaying side to side. Give me 1 more reach on each side and then lower down onto those knees and come all the way back up to standing. We have side lunges up next, so you're going to want to come down to one end of your mat. Step it out to the side, bending that knee and keeping the other leg straight. Step back to center. Lunge to the side, sitting those hips back like you're sitting in a chair. Step that foot in to meet the other. Lunge to the side, keeping that chest proud. As you lunge it over, you're sitting the hips back and keeping that knee from going out past the toes. Great job. We've got 5 more on this side. Here is our last one. Step that foot in. Let's walk it down to the other end of our mat. And let's lunge it out on the other leg. Step it out, come into that lunge. Then push yourself back to the starting position. Lunge out to the side, bending that knee, keeping the other leg straight. Come back to center. Chest proud, head is up. This is definitely using the power of your quads as you press yourself back to the center. Here we go, give me 5 more just like that. Last 2. And here's our last one. Great job. Go ahead and step your feet back into the center of your mat for some standing oblique crunches. Bring the hands behind the head, elbows wide, and we're going to be bringing knee to elbow on the same side. You are using those obliques to crunch that knee up to the elbow, then lowering that foot back down to the floor. We're staying on the same side for 10 reps, and then we'll take these to the other side. Here's our last one on this side. Crunch it up, lower that foot down, and let's bring these to the other leg. Crunch that other knee up to meet your elbow. Lower down, crunch it up, squeezing through those obliques. Here we go, let's rep this out. 7 more to go. Last 2. And last 1. Great job. Go ahead and drop those hands at your side. Step those feet in, and let's get ready for a single leg glute bridge. So go ahead and come back down onto your mat. Lying down, face up, knees are going to be bent. Go ahead and extend one leg straight up above your hip. And then we are raising our hips up towards the sky, and then lowering back down to the mat. Slow and controlled here. Lifting those hips, squeezing through that glute. Lower down. All of the power is coming from the glute you're lifting with. If this is too challenging for you, you can always do these bridges with both feet flat on the floor. Great job. Just 3 more on this side. Here's 3, 2, and last one. Lift those hips up, lower down. And let's go ahead and raise that other leg straight up above the hip. Press through that glute, lifting and then lowering back to the mat. Lift and squeeze, lower down. Press those hips up towards the sky and lower down. All right, let's rep these out to 10. Here is 5 and 6, just 4 more. Last 2. And last one, press it up, lower all the way down. Bring that foot back down to the mat. Up next, we have a low plank to a dolphin. We will be down on the mat again for this one in prone position, beginning in a low plank on your forearms. Now you can either be on your toes or your knees for these. Once you get into that low plank position, you're going to be piking those hips up towards the sky, diving that head down towards the mat, then lowering the hips, coming back into that low plank position. Pike and back to plank. You have a dolphin to a low plank here, fluidly moving from one pose to the next. Same thing here if you are on your knees. In plank, your back is in a straight line. You're pressing those forearms into the mat, bending at the hips, and then lowering back down into that plank. Just give me 2 more. Last one here. And then you can lower those knees down to the mat. Great work. We have just one exercise left in this round. It is a sweeping side plank. So you are going to be coming back down to the mat into a side plank on your forearm. Once you are in that side plank position, and please feel free to drop one knee down to the mat if you need to for stability. Starting with your hand resting on your hip, you are going to raise it up towards the sky and then reach up overhead. Then lower the hand all the way back down to the hip. It's one sweeping motion. Sweep it up overhead and then lower it back down. Just one more like that. Sweep it up overhead, lower that hand down to the hip, and then lower those hips to the mat. Let's swing this around to the other side. Popping up onto our feet or with one knee lowered to the mat. Beginning with that hand on our hip, let's reach it up overhead, then lower it back down. Sweep it all the way up, lower back down to the hip. Raise that arm up, sweep it back down. Just 2 more. And last one. Lift and lower. Go ahead and lower those hips to the mat. You have definitely earned your break here, so let's take a 30-second breather. Take this time to hydrate, towel off, and recharge for our next set. All right, let's begin round 2, starting with that downward dog to upward dog. In a high plank position with hands placed on the mat directly below the shoulders, press those hips up towards the sky into down dog, and then scoop the head forward, lowering the body, and then pressing the head up towards the sky into up dog. Press back into down dog, scoop into up dog, and then flow into down dog. Upward dog to downward dog. Let's go. Flow this out 3 more sets. And then you can lower those knees down to the mat and press yourself all the way back up to standing. Up next, we have that curtsy lunge with a side leg lift. We're going to be staying on one side, and make sure to make this your own. We're either flowing right from that lunge directly into that leg lift, or you're going to tap those toes down on the mat, raise that leg out to the side and lower down. Step back behind, curtsy lunge into that side leg lift. Here we go, lunge behind, raise it out to the side. Lunge behind, lift that leg lower. 5 more on this side. Here's 4, 3, 2, and last one, lunge it back, lift that leg out to the side, lower down. Are you ready to bring these to the other side? Cross back behind with that other foot, curtsy lunge, then lift that leg out to the side. Lunge to the side leg lift, lunge and lift. Here we go. Here we go, last 3, 2, and last one, lunge behind, raise that leg out to the side and lower down. Drop those hands at your side and let's get ready for those plank reach outs. We're going to be bringing it back down to the mat on our forearms into that low plank position. You can be on your knees here or pop it up onto your toes. Then we are just reaching that hand forward, tapping the floor in front of you, alternating sides, reach and tap, reach and tap. Try to imagine you are balancing a cup of water on your lower back, so keep those hips level, not dipping side to side. Keeping your feet, or if you're on your knees, in a wide stance will help you here. Last one, reach and tap, then go ahead and lower those knees down to the mat, push yourself back up to standing. Up next, we have another set of those side lunges. So you're going to be coming down to one end of your mat. Now remember, as you step it over, try to push those hips back like you're sitting in a chair. That knee is bent, the other leg is straight. Press yourself back to center. Lunge, come center. Lunge, come center. Try to keep that knee from going out past the toes. Keep the head, neck, and shoulders up so you're not hunching forward. Just 5 more on this side. Here's 3, 2, and last one. Bring those feet together, and then let's walk this down to the other end of the mat. We're going to be doing the same thing on the other leg. As you step out to the side, sit those hips back into that imaginary chair. And then use the power of those quads to propel you back to center. Lunge, come center, lunge, and come back to center. Here we go. Let's rep this out to 10. Last 3. 2, and last one. Step it in, release those hands, and then go ahead and come back to the center of your mat. We have those standing oblique crunches up next. Hands behind the head, elbows are wide. Crunch that knee up to meet the elbow. Stay on the same side here, crunch it up, lower down. Squeezing through that oblique muscle as you raise that knee up to meet the elbow. Just 5 more on this side. Here's 4, 3, 2, and last one. Great job. Let's bring these to the other side. Crunch that other knee up to the elbow. Here we go. Lift that knee up and lower down. Lift and lower. See if you can't touch that knee to elbow. And let's count it down. 5. Here's 4, 3, 2, and 1. Release those hands down at your side. We are going to be bringing it back down to the mat for those single leg glute bridges. You are on your back, feet are flat on the floor. Option here is to cross one leg over the other, as I'll be doing, or you can stick with how we did these in the first set with a straight leg extended up above the hip. Then go ahead and press those hips up towards the sky, lower down. You are pressing up through that glute, bringing your body into a straight line and then lowering down with control. Press it up and lower down, lift and lower. 5 more on this side. Here's 4, 3, here's 2, and 1 more. Press it up and lower down. Lower that leg to the mat and let's switch sides. Again, either crossing that leg over the other or with the foot straight up above the hip. Let's lift and lower those hips. Squeezing through that glute, lift it up, lower it down. Lift and lower. Here we go, last 5, 4, 3, 2, and last one. Lower those hips down, release that foot, and roll yourself up. Up next, we have that low plank to dolphin. So come down to the mat, beginning in that forearm plank position. Now remember, you can drop your knees here or you can be up on your toes. And then we're going to be pressing those hips up towards the sky into dolphin, and then lowering back down into a plank. press up, hiking that head forward towards the mat, lower down into plank. You're flowing from one movement to the next. Dolphin to low plank. Flow it out. Here's 5, 4, here's 3, 2, and last one. Lower back down to plank and then drop those knees to the mat. Press yourself back up. We have already made it to the last exercise in the round, those sweeping side planks. So you're gonna come down onto your mat into that forearm side plank position. Pop it up onto those feet, or you can have one knee lower down to the mat and then sweep that arm up overhead, lower down, sweep, and sweep it back down. Reach up overhead, bring that hand to hip. Here we go, just give me 2 more. And last one, lower down. All right, swing those legs around and let's come into a side plank on the other side. We've got to make everything even here. On your feet or with one knee on the mat, sweep that arm up overhead, lower it down. Here we go, sweep it up, reach, sweep it down. Here's 3, here's 4, just give me 1 more. And then lower those hips back down to the mat. It's time for another 30-second break here, so go ahead and grab a sip of water, stretch it out if you need to, towel off, and we will begin round 3 here shortly. All right, here we go with our third and final round of the day. We are beginning with that downward dog to upward dog. So you are starting in that high plank position. There's always the option here to drop it down to your knees. From down dog, lower towards the mat, look up into upward dog, press back into down dog. Scoop and lower, look up into upward facing dog, and then press it back. Fluid movement here, moving at your own pace. Go ahead and flow this out. All right, give me 1 more set. And then you can lower those knees to the mat. Go ahead and come back up to standing for those curtsy lunges with the side leg lift. Coming into that wider stance and starting on whichever side you wish, go ahead and lunge back behind. Bring it out to that side leg lift. Here we go, lunge, lift it out to the side. Lunge right into that raise or that tap down in between if you need to. Five left. Here's 4, 3, here's 2, and last one. Lunge behind, lift it out to the side, lower down. All right, let's bring these to the other side. Step back behind, curtsy lunge, and then lift that leg out to the side. Slow and controlled. Let's rep this out to 10. All right, just give me 2 more. And 1 more. Great job. Release those hands at your side. Shake it out. All right, let's bring it back down to the mat for another set of those low plank reach outs. You're coming into a low plank on your forearms. You can be on your knees or toes here, and then you're reaching out, tapping the floor, alternating sides. Remember, focus on keeping your back flat here so your hips are not swaying side to side as you reach out for that tap. Last 4, 3, 2, and 1. Go ahead and drop those knees down to the mat. And then bring yourself back up to standing. We have those side lunges up next. Go ahead and walk it down to one end of your mat. And then remember, as you step into that side lunge, to keep the other leg straight. Squat like you're about to sit in that chair. Your head, neck, and shoulders are looking up. You're not hunching forward. And you're using the power in that quad to propel you back to center. Let's do 7 more on this side. All right, just give me 1 more. Step feet together and then walk it down to the other end of your mat. We're gonna do the same thing on the other leg. Here we go, let's rep this out to 10. Just give me 4 more. Here's 3, 2, and last one. Step those feet together, shake it out, and then walk those feet back to the center of the mat. We're gonna move right into those standing oblique crunches. Hands come behind the head, elbows wide. Pick a side and bring that knee up to meet the elbow. Crunching up through that side oblique. You are stabilizing through the core. Set that foot down softly as it comes down. Last 5 on this side, and then we're gonna take these to the other side. Here's 4, 3, 2, and 1. Set that foot down. Let's reset and bring these to the other side. Bring that knee up to elbow. Here we go. Set that foot down softly. Here we go. Here's 8, 7, 6, 5, 4. Here's 3, 2, and last one. Great job. Go ahead and release those hands, and let's get ready to bring it back down to the mat for this next one. Single leg glute bridges. You are down on your back, feet are flat on the floor. Your options here are to cross one leg over the other, or you can extend that leg straight up. You can also always just keep both feet flat on the floor and do standard bridges here. All right, let's raise those hips up off the mat and lower down. Lift, squeezing through that glute, lower down to the mat. Here we go. Just 2 more on this side, and then we're going to take these to the other leg. Good. Lower that foot to the mat. Extend the other one straight up or cross it over that knee, and then let's lift and lower. Really focus on that glute that is doing the lifting. We don't want to strain our backs here, so focus on putting all the power in that glute muscle. Here we go. Last 4, 3, 2, and last one. Lift and lower, drop that foot to the mat. You can stay down here on the mat for this next one. We're just gonna flip over. We have that low plank to dolphin. So go ahead and get into that forearm plank position on your knees or your toes. From plank, we're going to push those hips towards the sky. Our head is going to lower towards the mat. And then flatten back out into plank. Push back, pike up into dolphin, and then lower back to plank. Go ahead and flow through the rest of these at your own pace. All right, just give me one more. Come back to plank, and then you can lower those knees down to the mat. Can you believe we are almost to the end of today's workout? We just have one exercise left. It is that sweeping side plank. We are going to be back down on our mat in that forearm side plank position. Remember, your option here is to drop that lower knee down to the mat for added stability. Starting with your hand on your hip, sweep that hand up overhead and lower back down. Sweep it up, lower down, sweep, and lower. Just give me two more like that. Here is our last one. Great job. Lower those hips to the mat. Let's swing around to the other side. Get into that forearm side plank position on the other side. Pop it up into plank, hand on your hip, and let's sweep it up overhead. Lower down to the hip, sweep it up, lower down, sweep, lower, last two here. Here's your last rep of the day. And release, go ahead and set those hips down on the mat. You made it, but don't go anywhere just yet. We're going to stretch it out and cool it down. Come back up to standing. Let's begin with some knee hugs. Pull that knee into the chest. We're alternating sides here. We're stretching out the legs and the glutes. You may need to hold on to the wall for stability, as this does require a little balance. Pull that knee into the chest, release, other side, hug that knee in, release. Last 4, 3, 2, last 1, release. Okay, come into a wide stance with the feet, squat it down a little bit and place both hands on the top of your thighs. And you're going to rotate through the core, reaching one hand up overhead, look out past the fingertips, hold here, spinal rotation. Good, bring that hand to the thigh and let's open up on the other side, reaching that other hand up towards the sky. Look out past those fingertips. Good, release, step those feet in. Now let's stretch out those shoulders. So behind your back, I want you to grab one wrist with your opposite hand and pull it over to the side. Now lean your head over to that elbow that's pointed outward, feeling that stretch through your neck and shoulder. Good, release that hand. Go ahead and grab the other wrist and pull it over to the side. Lean your head over towards that elbow that's pointed outward. Take a deep breath. Great, go ahead and release that, shake it out. Let's send those hands straight up overhead. Slight back bend here as you look up through the fingertips. Take some deep breaths. Great, release those hands at your side. Let's bring it down to the mat into pigeon pose. So you're going to be tucking one knee up under the body and the other one is extended long behind you. Then go ahead and lower down to whatever level is comfortable for you. If you can bring your forehead to the mat, that's great. If not, you can stack your forehead on your fists. Good. Go ahead and push the upper body back up. Let's reach back, and on that extended leg, pull your heel into the glute, stretching out the front of that quad muscle. Let your muscles relax into this pose. Don't forget to breathe. And then go ahead and release that foot. Press the hips up off the mat and untuck that knee, extending it long. Let's bring that other knee in. Lower down as far as is comfortable for you. Take a few deep breaths here and let your muscles relax into this pose. Go ahead and push your upper body back up and reach back and grab that foot, pulling the heel into the glute. Hold here. Release that foot, untuck your knee, and then bring yourself back up to standing. We're just going to finish up with 3 deep cleansing breaths here. Inhale, sweep the hands up overhead. Exhale, float them down in front of you. Inhale and exhale. One more time. Inhale and exhale. Press the palms of the hands together, lower them down to heart center. I appreciate all of you so much. Thanks for joining me for this workout today. Wherever you are on your journey, remember to make modifications as needed, but keep going. Consistency is the key to seeing lasting changes and to calming the mind and body. Join me next time for a healthy body, a healthy mind, and a healthy soul.